It's actually really tough. That's good. That's really good for a conversation.
Alrighty.
Okay, so you just did both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last topic was just we don't give a fuck about it anymore. So moving on to the next point.
I wonder if that will make it.
This is okay. Well, I'm just interested in personality in general, so I kind of like you can talk about like your favorite fruit, and I'll think, oh, what's your personality related to that? How is your personality related to, or how people who eat strawberries like what kind of personality do they have? But I want to talk about game genres because there's, at least in this day and age, there's kind of like in each age and era there's like the reigning genre or like a more popular genre.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely oh, I forget what they call them, like games like League of Legends, they call them MOBAs or
Yes, multiplayer online battle arena games.
yeah. Yeah. So like
Right now in that's only about, I think, League of Legends and Dota, I want to say. There's some other ones, but those ones are really like the majority of the scene
yeah.
right now.
So
And League just got crazy popular. I think it actually might be the most played game ever right now. So yeah. I think it passed WoW a couple years ago. So
I wasn't even.
it's pretty crazy. Just the like raw amount of hours played of a game
Yeah.
by people. So yeah.
Yeah. And I always when we play games or like just the differences among ourselves, like I tend to like games with some kind of story or some kind of like with some kind of message,
Narrative.
yeah, some kind of narrative that like sends some kind of message about or morals about something. And there's other people that like those kind of games too, but there's also like I think most of the people I know are into more like strategy and
Well, yeah, that's would be why I play League of Legends and that.
yeah.
I don't really like. There's lore to it, but it doesn't really matter to the game. It's mostly about the execution of your playing
Yeah.
of the player.
Yeah. And those games tend to be fairly competitive too. Like there's not.
Yeah, can't really argue against that
Yeah.
in any way.
Which is kind of like half the game itself. Like if you weren't competing, it wouldn't be the same game. Like if you were just.
Not so much. No, it takes a lot of the challenge out of it. Like you can face boss just for fun, but then you're not really learning anything. You're kind of just going through the motions.
Yeah.
It really is just practice. That's all it is.
So.
And then there's that game we started playing recently, Melee. There's not really much lore to that. You're kind of just trying to kick the shit out of each other, so that's good too.
Yeah.
And I like that one a lot.
Although like if people like Bean or like they go into the game and they know about all the characters' stories and stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a difference when I'm punching you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not so much, anyways. Yeah, it doesn't interact too much with it. So yeah, I didn't really consider it that much before, but I think a lot of the games I enjoy playing are mostly strategic. Like not, it's kind of the opposite of what he enjoys. I don't really care that much about the story for most of the games I enjoy. Really big fan of Diablo 2, League of Legends. That just has like infinite time sunk into it for me. Melee recently, I really really enjoyed that one now. Brawl before. Trying to think what other games have just been like awesome to play. There are some games with story, but usually it's just the gameplay that makes it fun for me, not the story.
Yeah.
Those are probably the biggest ones so far. That was, yeah, the lore was no. We skipped all of it, so yeah, that was just gameplay.
Yeah.
But
Although
it was also hanging out, so
yeah.
the social interaction of that game as well.
Yeah. But I was thinking like if I was playing Vindictus by myself, I would have read everything.
I don't know if I would, because I feel like most RPGs right now. I mean, I haven't played World of Warcraft extensively, or that not much at all, really. So maybe the story is really good too. But I feel like most of the ones today are trying to just make the gameplay experience. Like they're focusing so much on that. I don't know if the story is worth it or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But
yeah.
I
Well,
think
I
they
mean,
would focus most of it on the game
yeah.
play.
Huh. I forget thoughts in my head. Clouds of memories
Okay.
evaporating. Like the okay, I wanted to mention personality
Oh, Risk
because
of Rain. That's another one that's really fun. I've only played the demo, but man, that game is really fun. And then it's all gameplay. It's so much lower to it. It's kind of like you restart. I'll explain it to you more after because we're running out of time.
yeah.
But it's like you restart every single time, and it's interesting and spontaneous every time. So yeah, randomly generates and stuff.
Hmm. The like in the last video, I was talking about like being organized and being spontaneous, and that in relation to personality, and I find that because I like well, okay, it seems like if you're playing a game with a story, there's kind of like a set narrative and it's organized and there's nothing like random happening. But I mean, when you read a book that you've never read before, you're introduced to all these new ideas and all these new things, and you kind of have to just go with it. Whereas if you're playing a game with no narrative, the way like you kind of have to be an organized player yourself in order to succeed in those games.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of self teaching in games like those.
Yeah.
Uh, like League of Legends has the most difficult learning curve of any game I know so far. Um, because it's not a lot. There is a tutorial, but a lot of the real learning of what to do in the game is you have to know. You just have to play it and experience it and understand, and then you'll become better over time.
Yeah, but I always felt like I never had that. I maybe like for one game, but I've never like wanted to try and become the best player in a
Never
certain.
had the drive, yeah.
Yeah, and in a game sometimes like I'll turn it to like I'll put it on easy mode just so I can like
Experience the story.
experience the story.
Yeah.
Because if the game has a story and it has some like gameplay elements, then if they're too tough, it's like I don't know.
Challenging.
It's challenging to focus on both. Like if you're playing like GTA 4 and you're like Nico, you're this immigrant who's like I don't know who fought in the war or whatever. But at the same time, you're in this new country and I don't know you're kind of struggling to live. You're just making money off of like little jobs with your cousin. Like for me, the fun of the game is playing it and imagining yourself in that position. Like, oh, imagine if you were like thrown into the story and how would you deal with it? And
I don't think I've ever thought so hard about Grand Theft Auto game. Whenever I'm throwing it, well, actually, the only one I really focused on the story was Red Dead Redemption. Most of the other ones, I enjoy the how free the game is, the sandbox element to it, right? So
yeah,
you can just go around and do whatever you want, and then restart, and it's all new again.
right,
You can just mess up the town, come back, or maybe you just decide you want to be a taxi driver for like a couple hours or whatever you end up doing.
yeah,
Like right now, since I'm playing it from you, I'm playing number 5, and I just unlocked another character who's kind of a dick. I don't really like playing him, but the game's forcing me to play him, so I'm learning a story. So that's interesting too, though. Uh, seeing what he's doing to go through his life and like what he's deciding to do right now.
yeah. Oh boy. Well, I feel like that's something like it's a game or like games they have that opportunity like if you're reading a book if the character does something um you have no like you're not the one doing it, the character is doing it, you're just observing. Whereas if you're playing a game, I mean the narrative is there and it's set and you can't change it, but because you're the game puts you as the character, you kind of have to well you don't have to but you can imagine yourself as that character doing those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, there's more of a connection.
Want to shout out some of your favorite games before time goes out here?
Oh yeah,
Got some of mine out of the way already. Oh, Terraria also excellent. Go.
Walking Dead, Kingdom Hearts, I like Far Cry 3 and
Call of Duties for the multiplayer stuff. Yeah. zombies.